Attention, dear friends. This video is not an anti-gaming video, just simply saying gaming is a waste of our times. Gaming can be healthy and improve our lives. This video is about my experience with heavy gaming, ranging from 6 to 10 hours every day to cope with my personal issues. Hello friends, my gaming addiction is one of the bigger problems of my life, alongside with resentments. I am feeling ashamed of myself for wasting time and self-beated myself endlessly for disappointing myself every day. And my motivation went through the floor. This is a personal issue that I wanted to share a long time ago. After I uploaded the previous video and received your support, I got the motivation and courage to share my experience of being addicted to gaming. Let's start by talking about what do I mean by gaming addiction. Then I will talk about these topics. When did it become an addiction to me? How the excessive gaming affected my life in school and work, my internal self-beating, forgiveness process, and my own plans to better myself on the long run. What is a gaming addiction and how did it affect me? An addiction is when you don't stop a behavior, gaming in this case, despite the negative consequences. A gaming addiction happens when gaming becomes excessive and the main priority over everything else in life. I consider myself addicted to gaming because I get so easily focused on playing games for long periods of time. When I was in high school and middle school, I'm almost sure I easily played video games for 6 to 8 hours every day. It became a priority for my life because it helped numb all the bad feelings, frustration, loneliness, sadness, and anxiety. It also numbed negative thoughts like I am trash, I am nothing, why am I still alive, I am just that weight, I am a disappointment for my entire family, and gave that feeling that I am at least good on something, instead of drowning in nihilism and self-beating myself all day long. When I was not gaming, I would daydream about getting home, then playing games on my computer just to stop feeling bad at school due to terrible grades and feeling uncomfortable surrounded by class colleagues that I didn't have friendship with. This thought of wanting to play video games was heavy and stuck inside my mind. It would not leave until I played something. This urge of gaming is like the feeling of being thirsty when you don't drink water during a long period of time. The more time had passed without gaming, the more I would crave for gaming. After I get home, when I was doing a task that was not gaming, like doing homework, I would get bored very quickly in just 10 minutes, and the stuck gaming thought in my mind during the day struck me like a punch. My heart started to get very accelerated and my brain was getting much more heavier. I can remember that I used to get very desperate and panicking to finish my homework as soon as possible, even if it meant I needed to answer incorrectly some of the questions. There were times I tried to reduce my gaming time to just 2 hours per day, but wouldn't work because of my mindset at the time. I am totally different from my colleagues. I was never one of the smartest kids. I am a failure for the entire my life. Even if I tried hard, what's the point in my huge efforts? Just to fail again and feel an internal embarrassment to my family? After playing for 2 hours, the cycle of frustration and self-depreciation would start again. Then soon I started gaming again, just to stop thinking the thought of being the failure of the family. When did I become addicted? Probably at the end of high school, due to many things happening during that time, like some of my grades went from decent to below minimum. My parents were starting the divorce process. The fights between me and my older brother were much more frequent. I began thinking myself as being the most embarrassing and idiot family member. And lastly, I was getting good at the game called Team Fortress 2 with 2000 hours of playtime. Before gaming became my addiction, it was just a common small break to take a rest from school, a difficult homework, and an alternative to just watching cartoons on the television. Gaming for me was not only a small rest, but a very, very big crutch to get through the toughest moments in my life. I will give some examples of these moments, like my parents would get mad at me after receiving the report card containing 1 or 2 below minimum grades. During the first bimester, they would scream, pull very hard my ear, and even slap my arm with Havaiana slippers, even though there was time to get better grades on the coming bimesters. When my brother would become angry and screamed out loud at me for something small like downloading a software or a music for just a few minutes and slowing down a bit the internet connection or just bringing the wrong item he requested. There were times when I felt isolated in my own home despite having parents and my older brother. I never felt confident to share my true feelings after my parents said many times that you don't have stress, all you need to do is study. It literally cancelled my needs and trust, so I suffered alone inside my own head, creating imaginations about an alternative life on which I would be a perfect person or simply did not exist in the first place. Gaming showed to me that my efforts were generating results on the form of concluded objectives in single-player games and compliments of teammates in online games. Also about compliments. I know it's a stereotype that Asian parents rarely gives any compliments to their children, but it's a real one. I could only remember I received praise at elementary school, but afterwards I was receiving only complaints and comments about every failure. I would live, breathe, and die gaming because of the euphoric moments and recognition from my efforts. Also, another important thing that gaming even assisted me was meeting new people and creating new friendships with people that I talk till this day, like Undoing. How does it affect me recently? I started to acknowledge something was wrong within myself in 2019. When I started college and noticed it, I wasn't feeling great playing video games anymore. I used to get constantly bored, having headaches, insomnia, low energy, and low motivation. Despite these setbacks, I went through college quite smoothly. After I finished college and got a full-time job, all the free time I got was used for video games. Even though it was not the same 6 to 10 hours every day during school, I was spending all the free 4 hours to distress from my job. Eventually, I got tired of feeling miserable and constantly stuck in this cycle. Wake up tired, go to work, go to home even more tired, play video games to cope, feel much more tired after I finish the game session, and repeat again the vicious cycle. I would try to limit my playing hours to just 2 hours, but it would always fail due to this ingrained habit. What I have been doing to fix myself after a long period of struggling and what it seemed endless hours of gaming. To put endless gaming to perspective, I would say the playing time I got on 4 of my most played games in my Steam account. Team Fortress 2, 5,735 hours. The Binding of Isaac, 423 hours. Fallout New Vegas, 239 hours. And last, Resident Evil 4, 109 hours. I would break the cycle slowly, bit by bit. A cycle is made by a lot of habits. Inside habits, they have a chain consisting of having a trigger, do the task, and then receive the reward. Here are a few habits I changed in order to change my gaming cycle. Being exposed to blue light leads to a bad quality of sleep, and I would go to bed right after I finished gaming. I will break down this habit. Get tired. The trigger is a sensation. Playing video games is the task. Feeling good is the reward. And then sleep. But the consequence is a bad time of sleep. I did a very small change. I didn't change the fact of playing games. I reduced blue screen usage before bed by reading 2 to 4 pages of a book before going to bed, and it improved a bit my sleep. So now the chain looks like this: get tired, play games, feel good, read 2 to 4 pages of a book, feel tired and wish to go to bed, and sleep. Another problem with gaming before going to sleep is having some stuck thoughts in my mind during the day and during the game session, which still cause some frequency of insomnia. So I added another small change to my habit. I do journaling before going to read a book. So now this cycle looks like this when I finish my gaming session. Get tired, play games, feel good, writing a page in my own journal with all the bad thoughts and sensations, read 2 to 4 pages of a book, feel sleepy, and sleep. With this change, my blue screen exposure was decreased, and also the instances of insomnia. These are the 2 habits that auxiliates me to do sleep hygiene to get a better quality of sleep. Another example of bad habit was I wake up after I stop the ringing from the alarm, the trigger in this case, watch YouTube videos about gaming while sitting on the bed, the task, feel good, the reward. But the consequence is feeling more tired after leaving bed. I changed the YouTube videos to just go into the kitchen, fill a cup of water and drink it. So I felt much less tired after leaving bed and less tired during the day. Another thing I'm trying to do more recently is practicing self-compassion. I learned that the more I beat myself, the more I would feel frustrated and miserable. In other words, with hate, I would create more hate within. But with love and forgiveness, I started to heal bit by bit. Here are some examples of self-beating and self-compassion. The first example is self-beating. I would think, I am pathetic and stupid. I should have done everything very well today and without errors. And the opposite example, that is self-compassion thought, is thinking, you did your best today. I am not perfect, and I know I can fix my errors. I would never treat my friends by being aggressive, and I should also not be aggressive towards myself. These thoughts can occur when I am changing habits, like when I was trying to read 10 pages every day. I would fail and then say, wow, you did really your worst today. You can't even read 10 pages. But afterwards I started to forgive myself and have thoughts like, I have done my best today. I can keep trying again. By reading 4 pages or 6 pages, instead of the original 10 pages. Afterwards, little by little, by the persistence, I would get more consistent with reading, and soon consistently read 10 pages. If I did the constant self-beating, I would push myself to read 10 pages every day for the next 3 days without failing. But after 3 days pushing to the limit, I would give up reading if I didn't read 10 pages, even if I read 9 pages, and then feel miserable once again. So self-compassion and forgiveness is an essential tool to keep trying again, to eventually get the consistent results. Being critic is important to make good decisions, but when I am way too critical of myself, I don't see good things in myself. Gratitude is a great tool to see improvements within, like, I am grateful that today I did a 30 minutes walk. I am grateful that I have friends that support me. I am deeply grateful for learning something new, and also helps into the progress of forgiving myself. To sum it up, I did these things: changing habits by adding tiny habits, practicing self-compassion and forgiveness, and practicing gratitude. Thanks for watching this video. I think this is the video that required the most effort from me, and it pushed further my writing skills in English. With your support, my dear friends, I feel empowered. I don't have words to describe how important this support is. It made me post my first video and now helped to deal with my shyness and create an even bigger video. Again, thank you so much.